Evelyn heads to Las Vegas with her best friend for a carefree weekend filled with drinks, photos, and fun. During a wild night at a bar, she bravely steps in to defend a bartender from an aggressive customer and shares a brief but unforgettable moment with a handsome stranger. The next morning, Evelyn wakes up on the bathroom floor with a pounding headache, only to discover a ring on her finger and the shocking news that she married the stranger the night before. That man turns out to be David Ferris, a world-famous rock star. Back in Portland, Evelyn tries to hide the truth, but reporters quickly expose the secret marriage, throwing her into the spotlight. Surrounded by paparazzi, angry fans, and growing rumors, Evelyn is pulled deeper into David's chaotic world, where lawyers, secrets, family tension, and unexpected emotions begin to change her life forever. Later, Evelyn spends the day with one of David's friends' wives. They drink, have lunch at a bar, dance, and enjoy a carefree afternoon together. At one point, David steps in to defend Evelyn from a man who is bothering her, and the situation nearly becomes a fight. Back at home, David and Evelyn get into a heated argument, but they quickly make up. That night, Evelyn calls Hannah, who tells her more about David's past. Hannah explains that David started his own band when he was only 16 years old. She also reveals that David's former fiancée cheated on him with his own brother, Tishan, brother, and that betrayal destroyed his trust in other people. The next morning, while David and Evelyn are cooking together, his friends react with surprise to their life. Later, David tells Evelyn that if she wants to know anything about him, she can ask. She smiles and asks what his favorite color is. David answers that it is black, and Evelyn tells him hers is blue before sharing a memory from her childhood. Eventually, David and Evelyn travel to Los Angeles, where Martha meets them. Martha is not especially friendly toward Evelyn, which creates tension. David asks Evelyn to stay backstage during the concert so he can keep an eye on her. After the performance, Martha's brother prevents Evelyn from going to the bathroom to find David, but Evelyn cleverly gets past him and opens the door. Inside, she finds David with Martha. Devastated, Evelyn demands an explanation, but David insists he is innocent. Unable to bear it, Evelyn leaves, and David's manager takes her home. Maybe a month later, Evelyn has returned to her job at the cafe. One day, a strange man approaches her and tries to question her about her relationship with David, but the cafe manager quickly throws him out. Later, Evelyn goes to a nightclub with her friends to have fun and forget everything. While she is there, David suddenly walks in. The sight of him makes her nervous, and she blurts out that she wants a divorce. David sees how upset she is and asks for a chance to talk. He explains that because of Jimmy's condition and his transfer to a treatment facility, he has not been able to contact her. Evelyn is still furious and tells him he deceived her. Their relationship grows even more strained, and she decides to walk away. The next day, Evelyn complains to her friend, wondering why she told David where she would be. After work, David finds Evelyn and asks if he can drive her home so they can talk privately. Instead, he takes her to a restaurant and buys her pizza. When they get home, Evelyn's brother punches David in the face. In that moment, Evelyn realizes Martha had contacted David, which only makes her angrier. She tells David he needs to leave immediately. Although he tries to calm her down, Evelyn refuses to forgive him. The following morning, David keeps trying to talk to her, but she ignores him. Over the next several days, he continues pursuing her because he cannot stand the idea of losing her. Finally, Evelyn demands to know why he is acting this way and why he does not just go back to Los Angeles. David answers simply that his wife lives here. Evelyn then asks him to explain what happened with Martha in the bathroom. David tells her that Martha orchestrated the whole situation and that he pulled away from her right away. He also admits that his relationship with Martha had ended long before. Then David opens up even more, telling Evelyn about his childhood. He explains that his mother struggled with drug addiction and that his father, a truck driver, was constantly gone for long periods. Because of that, he and Jimmy grew up facing hardship after hardship. The next day, Martha visits Evelyn and apologizes. She admits that David no longer has feelings for her, reveals that he truly wrote 2 songs for Evelyn, and says he even sold his house so he could live closer to her. In the end, Evelyn goes to see David and asks whether he really wrote those songs for her. David promises that he will sing them when the time is right. Evelyn then gives him a gift, as a sign that she is willing to marry him for real. During his concert, David finally performs one of the songs he wrote for her, and Evelyn joins him on stage. The story ends on a happy note, filled with emotion, love, healing, and a future fully for them. The relationship no longer feels like a scandal or headline. It feels earned. What began in confusion ends in trust, understanding, forgiveness, and commitment. David gives Evelyn the honesty she wanted, and Evelyn gives David the faith he needed. Together, they step into a future that feels chosen, steady, and real. Evelyn and her best friend head to Las Vegas for a weekend getaway, ready for fun, pictures, and videos. At a crowded bar, Evelyn notices a customer harassing a bartender and bravely steps in before things get worse. She locks eyes with a handsome stranger across the room, and they share a quick smile. Blum. The next morning, Evelyn wakes up on a bathroom floor and finds that same man standing beside her. He hands her a painkiller, and when she glances at her hand, she is stunned to see a wedding ring on her finger. He tells her they got married the night before. Evelyn has no idea what to think. Later, he says his lawyers will handle everything, which leaves her puzzled, since she cannot see why lawyers would be involved in a marriage. Evelyn returns to Portland and tries to keep the marriage a secret from her friend Hannah. But the second she gets home, reporters and photographers surround her, shouting questions about her marriage to David Ferris, a famous rock singer. David's fans are furious, and there are whispers about conflict between David and his brother Jimmy. David's bodyguard, Sammy, shows up and hands Evelyn a phone so she can talk to David. David urges her to come to his house until things settle down, and Evelyn reluctantly agrees. On her way there, she faces insults from angry fans. When Evelyn arrives at David's house, a huge party is going. Sammy escorts her inside, and she is shocked to see that David has tattooed her name on his hand. David explains that he wanted something to remember the night they got married. Evelyn quickly notices how cold David can be, especially when she sees him acting too close to another woman. Hurt and discouraged, she leaves her room and meets Jimmy, David's brother. David appears, warns Jimmy to stay away from Evelyn, and tension rises when Jimmy accuses David of being selfish. Mendia. The next morning, one of David's bandmates, Martha, helps Evelyn get ready for a meeting with the lawyers. During the meeting, the attorneys offer Evelyn $10 million in exchange for her silence about the marriage. They also warn that if she has a child from this relationship, she will be forced to leave David. Furious, Evelyn rejects the offer and makes it clear that her dignity is not for sale. Densed. After the meeting, Mal talks to Evelyn and tries to comfort her. He shares more about David's personality and suggests that if she gets to know him better, her view of him might change. Later, Mal criticizes David for leaving Evelyn alone with the lawyers. David explains that Evelyn asked for a divorce herself, but he still has not decided whether he will let it happen. Soon after, David notices the media published a photo of Evelyn's tattoo. Intended from her. He tries to hide the pictures from her, but she sees them and feels humiliated that it has reached the press. Distressed, Evelyn retreats to the bathtub, and David gently tries to comfort her. David takes Evelyn to a safe house so she can think clearly. There, Evelyn asks how they first met, and David explains that they crossed paths at the bar in Las Vegas. He says he felt a connection and remembers how they ended up going back to his room together. As they talk, they open up. David tells her about his upbringing, the struggles that shaped him, and the story of his band. Evelyn shares stories about her family, her life, and her job at a cafe. The next day, David buys Evelyn expensive designer clothes, stunning her with the prices. He reassures her and tries to make her feel comfortable in a world that still feels unfamiliar. Later, David hosts a dinner for his married friends. After the meal, everyone starts dancing, and the atmosphere becomes warm. David tells Evelyn that he has already written 2 songs about her, which thrills her. Then he promises that he will never do anything without her consent. He says she never has to worry about him drinking again because he would not want her to suffer. David asks Evelyn to give him a real chance, speaks about loyalty and integrity, and asks her to say yes to him. To the next day, David's friends stop by the house. Mal jokes around with Evelyn, and David playfully warns him not to touch his wife. Mal laughs and says he is only there for work, but David insists that work can wait. Evelyn admits that she has been thinking seriously about divorce, though she still has not made a final decision. Around the same time, David is shown working with his group on new music. One of his friends' wives tells Evelyn that she has never seen David this happy before. She points out that Evelyn is the first person David has allowed into his safe house in 6 years. When Evelyn asks why the house stayed empty so long, the woman explains that David had been searching for a place where he could finally feel safe